Every day, billions reach for a refreshing Coca-Cola. But beneath the iconic red and white lies a century of alleged exploitation, dark alliances, and a fight for power that few ever see. Here, a once vibrant river valley now reveals a colossal Coca-Cola bottling plant, its stacks marking a pervasive global presence. This animated map shows Coca-Cola's thousands of bottling plants, spreading as red dots across continents. As we zoom into regions like India and Latin America, heat map overlays reveal areas of intensifying water stress. These plants draw immense amounts of water, contributing to severe shortages in surrounding communities. A pristine Coca-Cola bottle, cold and inviting, stands on parched, cracked earth. The image is stark, a product of refreshment seemingly at odds with its environmental reality. This visual suggests the profound cost of its global reach. Here, children walk long distances across a dusty rural landscape. They carry empty jerry cans and buckets, their faces etched with the effort of collecting precious water. This is the human cost of depletion. Communities forced to seek what was once readily available. Local newspaper clippings shout headlines like "Coca-Cola draining our wells" and "Community calls for action." These articles highlight specific accusations from places such as Plachamata, India, and San Cristobal de las Casas, Mexico, where communities report depleted wells and dry riverbeds. This village well, once a source of life, is now utterly dry, filled with debris. This empty shaft is a grim testament to the allegations that communities are forced to buy water while bottling operations continue unchecked. Satellite imagery reveals green agricultural land browning and shrinking over 2 decades near a large bottling plant. The subtle animation shows the plant's constant operation, illustrating the devastating environmental impact. This infographic explicitly compares the water usage of a Coca-Cola plant versus local community needs. These contrasting charts expose a disproportionate consumption, suggesting the sheer scale of extraction that can lead to local crisis. Yet official corporate social responsibility reports, like this slick document with its aspirational imagery, often highlight Coca-Cola's commitment to water stewardship and community well-being. The modern, imposing architecture of their global headquarters stands in stark contrast to the scarcity we have witnessed. Vintage advertisements, stylized here, emphasize the freshness, purity, and refreshment of the product. This carefully crafted public image often clashes sharply with the investigative reports and activist accounts of ongoing water exploitation. This animated timeline on a world map reveals that these water allegations are not isolated incidents. Historical instances of water disputes, from India in the 1980s to Plachamata, Kerala, in the 2000s, light up sequentially, demonstrating a recurring, decades-long pattern. Look at this yellowed, typewritten protest letter from 1978. It is a petition from a community council, urgently appealing for water rights. Such documents prove these concerns have spanned generations, revealing a systemic issue rather than an anomaly. An elderly community member gazes out at a barren landscape, their face etched with worry and resignation. This image captures the enduring impact of a decades-long struggle, raising questions about accountability and responsibility. A massive automated Coca-Cola bottling line operates at full throttle, thousands of bottles moving swiftly and endlessly. It symbolizes the scale of operations that continue despite persistent allegations and public outcry. Against a modern city skyline at dusk, prominent Coca-Cola billboards glow brightly. This pervasive presence begs a critical question: how does a company of this magnitude manage to sustain and expand globally while facing such severe ethical accusations? Beyond environmental issues, Coca-Cola is also accused of wielding considerable political influence. Here, the grand facade of a government building symbolizes the centers of power where aggressive lobbying takes place. This archival news report from the 80s and 90s highlights rising obesity rates and public health concerns. It forms the backdrop against which Coca-Cola is alleged to have actively lobbied against public health measures. Watch closely. A hand holding a sugary drink, as a second hand discreetly passes an envelope. This visual suggests the covert lobbying that some claim undermines efforts to combat obesity and diabetes, implying a disregard for consumer health in pursuit of profit. Financial disclosure forms and lobbying reports detail millions spent on political campaigns. For instance, the XYZ Beverage Association, a known industry group, contributed $12 million to influence policy. This concrete evidence points to extensive influence peddling, shaping policy in the company's favor. This infographic shows a troubling correlation. Increased beverage industry lobbying expenditure, depicted by the rising bar graph, frequently aligns with stalled or weakened public health legislation. It suggests a pattern of manipulation against measures like soda taxes. Here, corporate executives, composed and powerful, conclude what appears to be a successful negotiation. Such scenes underscore the strategic cultivation of relationships with politicians and health organizations, ensuring policies are shaped to favor corporate interests. As we shift to 1930s Germany, this grainy archival footage shows bustling streets, yet with subtle unsettling signs of rising nationalism. It is within this historical context that Coca-Cola's German operations continued, even as international tensions escalated. An archival corporate memo from 1939, stylized here on aged paper, explicitly discusses Coca-Cola's continued operations in Nazi Germany. Phrases like market penetration and continuity of supply reveal a focus on business interests. Even amidst profound moral questions, rather than ceasing business with the regime, vintage advertisements for Fanta, with its grainy 1940s aesthetic, highlight its German origins and wartime development. Fanta was created specifically to maintain sales amidst syrup import bans, a pragmatic response that challenged Coca-Cola's later patriotic image. A rapid montage of iconic Coca-Cola advertisements from various eras emphasizes happiness, unity, and refreshment. This carefully cultivated image, a symbol of freedom and American values, stands in stark contradiction to its willingness to operate within and profit from totalitarian regimes. An article or report, highlighted here, discusses Coca-Cola's efforts to distance itself from its wartime history. Official PR statements often downplay past controversies with careful wording, raising uncomfortable questions about corporate ethics and the pursuit of profit above all else. A sleek, modern Coca-Cola vending machine sits in a bright, inviting public space, but a subtle, unsettling shadow falls over it, hinting at the hidden darkness beneath the surface, a continuous thread of prioritizing business over broader ethical alignment. We move from environmental and political influence to direct human rights abuses. This solitary figure, walking a desolate road near an imposing industrial plant, conveys the vulnerability of those facing allegations of violence, intimidation, and even murder against labor union organizers. This world map highlights regions in South America, like Colombia and Guatemala, where red markers appear on specific locations of alleged anti-union violence. These severe accusations are linked to Coca-Cola's bottling partners, escalating the stakes dramatically from abstract policy to direct human cost. A rapid, jarring montage flashes before us. A dry well, a corporate logo, a protest sign, a historical Fanta image, a hand passing money, ending on a Coca-Cola bottle. The unifying thread is clear. A relentless pursuit of profit maximization and market dominance. This timeline graphic maps the major controversies, from German operations in the 1940s to water disputes starting in the 80s, anti-union allegations in the 90s, and escalating lobbying in the 2000s. It visually confirms a pattern of behavior, often achieved by externalizing human and environmental costs. As the camera slowly orbits the gleaming Coca-Cola corporate building, reflections in its windows subtly show fleeting glimpses of dry wells and protest signs. The facade of success mirrors the hidden costs that fuel its global power. Stylized court documents, highlighting lawsuit filings against Coca-Cola, reveal allegations ranging from anti-union harassment to environmental damage. These cases illustrate the challenges in holding a global corporation responsible, as direct accountability is often avoided. Vintage news footage of court proceedings or press conferences shows public scrutiny of these high-profile cases. Yet, examination reveals a consistent pattern of legal defense and settlements. Rather than clear admissions of guilt or significant penalties, this comparison chart of allegations versus legal outcomes highlights a perceived lack of accountability. While many cases are filed, only a small fraction result in major penalties, with the majority ending in settlements or dismissals. This reinforces the theme of unchecked power. A montage of people happily consuming Coca-Cola in diverse everyday settings, at picnics, family meals, and sporting events, portrays pure, unadulterated joy and ubiquity. This is the ultimate paradox, a universally loved brand with a dark underbelly. But this montage is jarringly intercut with quick, almost subliminal flashes of dry wells, protest signs, and Nazi-era Fanta ads. This creates profound cognitive dissonance, challenging the viewer's own consumption habits. A compilation of social media posts and online comments shows consumers expressing shock, confusion, or ethical dilemmas after learning about these controversies. User 1 states, "Can't unsee this now." User 2 asks, "My favorite drink. What do I do?" A lone individual holds a Coca-Cola bottle, looking thoughtful and conflicted, turning it over in their hands, deep in introspection. The question lingers, how complicit are we, as consumers, in its continued dominance? An empty, desolated street at night, with a single Coca-Cola vending machine glowing ominously in the distance. Despite decades of controversies and significant public awareness, Coca-Cola remains one of the world's most powerful and profitable brands. This global map illustrates Coca-Cola's vast market presence, a sprawling web of interconnected influence across every continent. Its sheer scale is overwhelming, raising a profound question. How much does public opinion truly impact unchecked corporate power? A close-up on a corporate hand signing a document with a sleek pen symbolizes the unseen power and decision-making behind the scenes. It highlights the systemic difficulties in holding such a powerful entity fully accountable. The Earth, seen from space, beautiful and fragile. Slowly, an overlay of red dots and lines appears, representing human impact, water stress, pollution, conflict zones globally. What does it truly mean when a product so ingrained in our daily lives carries such a heavy, hidden cost?